something akin to that whenever he was asking or telling Zaius that Zaius told him, I'm sorry, that the papers had to be filed or something. There was some mention of what he did in that moment.
All right.
Yeah.
So the what's Maximus's title again?
Commissioner for Animal Affairs.
Okay, so let's say we've had now 5 minutes of story time since we last saw Zaius. He wiped out. The last thing we saw him do was wipe out the writings on the ground. Mm-hmm. He might have gone to get the commissioner.
Right then.
And had discussions with him, looked up and thought, why isn't he here? We're going to go see. So you could build that in of why they're together. He's concerned about what he's seeing, and he wants to nip it in the bud. He wants to get rid of Taylor.
Right.
There's at least you can find a motivation for him being there, but it does have that feeling of they burst in almost to stop what we're seeing here.
To shut down what exactly is happening.
Right.
Cornelius says, certainly, sir, it's a pleasure to see you again. And then Maximus, of course, sees Taylor. What is that?
And it's what?
A man, Dr. Maximus, says Zero.
Well, it has, back to what Sean was saying, it does have very much I'm going to describe what I'm seeing on the screen. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have what real people do in a situation like that. What are you doing with him?
Why is he out of his cage?
Yeah, the real question that a person would ask in that moment is not asked.
What would you ask?
What Sean said. Why is that out of his cage?
Well, what is that? Zero says a man, and Maximus ends with, I know it's a man, and you know the rules. So they came there to bust them. They came in there specifically to bust them.
But what are the rules? I mean, is it they're not supposed to have them out of the cages? Or is it not? They're not supposed to be in the offices? Is it they're not supposed to be dressed up unless they're wearing a bra? Women
unless they're wearing the tit sling?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you don't define the rules, and I don't know that you always have to define the rules. I think he can say an open-ended comment of, you know the rules. Mm-hmm. And as long as she reacts to it, I do, I'm sorry. Then we know she's done something wrong. But it has the weirdness of, okay, if the backstory is Zaius went to speak to him, kind of what he saw, he has a problem, there's something we need to be concerned about, he didn't make his meaning and he goes here. Why would Maximus ask, what is that? We're quibbling over screenwriting, I know, at this point. And to be fair, I want to stop and say, because I want my trivia in this, that is Woodrow Parfrey, who is starring as Dr. Maximus, who has a couple of points of distinction that, according to the Ape Wikipedia, was cast along with Mr. Heston because Mr. Heston had worked with him recently. And also Dr. Zaius, Maurice Edwards, they had all worked on the same film, so bring him over. But the most interesting thing, he, along with Roddy McDowall, was only one of 4 actors to appear in both the movie and TV series.
Was he playing the same character?
It does not list that.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe he was.
I think when I was reading the Ape Wikipedia, I think it mentioned he had a different character name in the
Roddy McDowall has a different character name as well.
Okay.
Galen, I think, is his name on the TV show.
Well,
but
I know, makeup technology is not the same then as it is now, but the orangutans and the gorillas look very similar. I mean, I know they're dressing them the same because they have to be in uniforms, but their faces are almost exactly the same too. I mean, if you look, in general, if you look at monkeys or something like that, they all kind of look alike. But if you start individually looking at them, that you can find differences in them. But the gorillas, it just looks like they made one mask and duplicated it a bunch of times. Instead of, let's make this one a little bit fatter, let's make this one a little bit thinner, maybe he's balding a little bit or something like that. They all look exactly the same.
But at least the gorilla has the larger flared nostrils to the orangutan having the teeny tiny.
Well, no, I'm saying both the orangutans look exactly
alike.
I
see what you're saying.
Both the gorillas look exactly alike, like they're twins.
Okay, well, in the pre-discussion minutes before we started recording, I made mention that Maximus looked different in skin tone. Maybe that's what they do.
Yeah.
He looked, I thought he looked disheveled. Mm-hmm. That might indicate age. He might have been older. They might have done something different with styling to make him look something. Again, these are prominent characters, and so for Gorilla Guards to have the same mask, it makes sense because they just want them to be generic. For these individual characters, they're adding touches and flares so that they actually stand out distinct.
That's a good point.
I noticed that Dr. Zaius had a more carvings on his.
Yes,
his
he does.
leather uniform.
The stripes down the side. He has full,
Right.
where Maximus is only half. Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Possibly indicating a status in society.
Right.
But I would say the disheveled nature of Maximus makes me think that he's older or maybe younger. I'm not sure.
I want to also know what the Commissioner of Animal Affairs actually does. Does he have affairs with animals?
Gross.
But okay, so Commissioner of Animal Affairs, that is humans and horses. That's
all we see so far.
Yeah, we haven't seen any pets or anything.
No dogs, no pigs.
No, like even birds or anything.
I'd have to go back and look at.
we did see some birds fly around, but
We
not
did?
in the city. We did see them in the jungle.
Did we?
Yeah. It's just they brought him in for a reason. Why would Zaius want the
Need
Commissioner
backup,
for Animal Affairs to be there to talk to Cornelius about his expedition?
Okay, hang on. Once again, we're going to build the backstory of the moment. What if, in all the conversations they've had with Cornelius to get him to stop it, part of it was the animal affairs, the things you don't need to be looking into the evolution of humans. They're just dumb, wasteful animals. So he brought him in to have that meeting when he didn't show up. That came
to shut him down.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a possibility with that. But it's just kind of interesting that Maximus is like, what is that? And he says, I know it's a man and you know the rules. It just seemed like an accusatory. Like he was just saying,
Agreed.
What is that? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get you.
Right.
I'm going to shut you down right now. No, ma'am.
Could a kibosh on the kipkosh?
Well, and so that brings a point that there was something in the notes here that I want to step back to as he puts the kibosh on Zira in this. Zira has a moment of female strength that we've not seen. She's had her moments in the film so far, but when she actually stands up to Cornelius and tells him to show some strength, there is truly my wife doesn't let me get away with things like that, and she would slap me and say, figuratively slap me and say, that's enough of that. I loved that moment when we truly saw the dynamic of their relationship. And of course now Cornelius comes back with the reasoning, and he mansplains the moment to her.
Ape-splains.
He ape-splains it. But it's still interesting that Zira gets that moment of come on.
Well, and yeah, exactly. So she says, show some strength. And then that moment where Zaius comes in and Cornelius is now flustered. Oh, no. Sorry, I was just among my notes. And Max was like, what is that? And she's like, it's a man, Dr. Maximus. Like,
that's true.
hello.
She does kind of get that.
Yeah.
Which I flipped the finger at you.
Exactly. What is it? A man, Dr.
That's
Maximus.
the point where she should throw poop.
Duh.
That is true. That would be your poop throwing.
But yeah,
moment.
she is very, very, very strong.
She is, yeah.
She is very strong. She is not afraid.
I mean, she is leading a whole lot of the stuff that's happening in the zoo area. I mean, she's in charge of a lot of people, it seems
Right.
like. So standing up to a male figure might not be something that's unheard from her.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
She bosses Julius around. She bosses those other people.
Well, Julius he has anger issues. He needs to be bossed around.
I just think she's fantastic. She has a giant pair of coconuts.
Wow. That was beautiful. And on that, unless you guys have anything else, I'm going to end it right there. All right. That's another minute in the books. Thank you. Check us out at our website, minuteoftheapes.com. Shout at us. Shoot us an email. Whatever you want to do. Let your friends know about us. But let's see, I started with him. So for Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
The minute of the apes.